Greetings, YouTube. An FBI expert who is retired on the subject of interrogation has revealed some information about the methods used to get information from the bodyguard of Osama bin Laden. I'm going to quote some text from the article. Ali Soufan, a former FBI interrogator, revealed in an article being released in June that Osama bin Laden's bodyguard opened up about the 9/11 terror attacks only after being offered sugar-free cookies. Bin Laden's lieutenant, Abu Jandal, is diabetic, Soufan said, and wouldn't eat sugar cookies he'd been offered. Soufan noticed that he didn't touch any of the cookies that had been served with tea. He was diabetic and couldn't eat anything with sugar in it. Times Bobby Gosh wrote. At their next meeting, the Americans brought him some sugar-free cookies, a gesture that took the edge off of Abu Jandal's angry demeanor. We had shown him respect, and we had done this nice thing for him, Soufan told Gosh. So he started talking to us instead of giving us lectures. It took more questioning and some interrogators' sleight of hand before the Yemeni gave up a wealth of information about Al-Qaeda, including the identities of 7 of the 9/11 bombers. But the cookies were a turning point, Gosh writes. After that, he would no longer think of us as evil Americans, Soufan said. Now he was thinking of us as human beings. I find this fascinating. I've heard similar information from interrogators of the Nazis after the Allies won in Europe, and they were desperately looking for information about hunting down war criminals and the officers that had ordered the death camps built and used. And their methods mostly were playing chess. Were connecting with the prisoners, talking to them. Admittedly, it wasn't particularly fast, but it was effective. And I know that people are going to say, well, what about the ticking time bomb scenarios? Well, the ticking time bomb scenarios are all Hollywood. Such a scenario never actually exists in the real world. There has never been a record of any bomb that has been detonated, ever, that has been announced that it's going to be detonated. No one has ever called up and said, there's a bomb in the building, and then actually detonated a bomb. Every such phone call has been false, because people who want to detonate bombs and kill people, or at the minimum destroy property, want the bomb to detonate, so they're not going to tell anyone about it. The bombs go off, and then they later claim responsibility. Amongst a group of other people, of course, that will claim responsibility, because once a bomb's gone off, it's free grabs for who actually did it. And that dilutes the possibility of actually finding the people who planted the bomb. It's sort of like assassins. No person that's ever sent a letter to a presidential candidate or president threatening to kill them has actually ever attempted to kill them. The assassins that have killed or attempted to kill presidents have always done so in secret. Because even though they were insane, they did in fact want to succeed. I think this is a wonderful example of how torture, which is a slow process, believe it or not, requiring many sessions, is not good at getting intelligence. As I've said before, torture is about causing pain because you can, about taking a helpless human being and making them suffer. And that act, the orders that cause that act, are despicable, immoral, and the people involved should be punished. But since I believe in the rule of law, they should be identified, charged, tried, and if found guilty, imprisoned. I don't want them tortured. And I'd like our long nation's torture over this topic to end, but it's not going to. This is going to haunt us for generations. In the future, nations that want to use an example of how a superpower is no better than they are is going to use this time, the 8 years that the Bush administration was in charge, as an example. They're going to say, see, the Americans did it. It can't be all that bad. Even though we condemned the Inquisition for using torture as a device, we condemned the Nazis for using torture devices, we condemned the Japanese for using torture devices, we condemned the Khmer Rouge for using torture devices, and every other despicable, tyrannical government in the history of the world. We jumped right on board when we started thinking with our emotions instead of our reason.